Today's the day. My entire vintage Chanel collection. You're new here, I'm Nika at Fashionica, and I am a designer bag lover. The long-awaited video. I've seen requests time and time again. I don't know, I've always felt so weird showing the entire collection because it is quite a few pieces. Vintage Chanel is by far the most that I have in my designer bag collection, mainly because I have such a love for vintage Chanel. This isn't my entire Chanel bag collection, this is solely the vintage pieces. I have maybe a couple of newer styles. If you are a lover of any luxury vintage, let's be friends, hit subscribe. With that said, let's get into it. First bag I'm gonna share is my very first vintage Chanel. I got this as a gift from my fiance a few years ago. It's a caviar little flat bag. For my first leather Chanel piece, I really wanted it to be caviar leather because I know that I'm not like the best with taking care of my bag. Caviar leather is notoriously more durable compared to lambskin leather. Not to say that I'm not a huge fan of lambskin as well. On the days when I don't want to baby my bag, caviar leather is typically the leather that I opt for. Beautiful beige flap. The leather has an iridescent shine to it. In certain lights, it's kind of just shining. The champagne gold hardware. This is such a special piece, and this is one of my favorite Chanel bags in my collection. It was such a surprise to receive this from my fiance. He did an incredible job. I'm for sure planning on keeping this bag in my collection forever. So much so that I actually bought a mini version of it. It's the exact same style, just smaller. I decided to get the smaller version. I have like a future daughter that might want to steal this. We would have a mommy and me Chanel bag. I'm prepping her collection and I'm so excited. I don't know if that's extra, but there's a lot of things in here that are extra, so just be warned. Not me switching out my earrings mid-video to be in theme for this week's video. Vintage Chanel turn lock earrings made with 24 karat gold plating too. Now we're talking. This Chanel is actually one of my most used Chanel bags. Pony hair east-west flap. I love a good east-west bag. East-west bags are coming back in style. A lot of brands are mimicking an east-west shape with their newer collection. Love the purple interlaced lambskin. So easy to style casually. So I actually use this bag quite a lot. East-west are notorious for being able to fit a good amount inside because of that wide space. It's so easy to just pop in a phone, pop in a card holder, pop in whatever you need. That time of the video where I share my Chanel classic flap. This was literally one of my dream bags for the longest time, like ever since I was a kid. Vintage Chanel, caviar small double flap, 24 karat gold plated hardware. Oh, this was a milestone gift. It was like part milestone and part birthday. This is an interesting topic because it was just confirmed that there's gonna be a Chanel price increase. It does take into effect, I believe, like by the time you're watching this video, brand new in store. I have the stats on my phone. In 2023, this bag, the small classic flap, was $9,600. In 2024, so once this takes in effect, or if it is in effect now, it has gone up from $9,600 to $11,240. Do with that information what you would like. I'm just here to share the facts. I opted for the vintage Chanel because before 2008, Chanel used 24 karat gold plated hardware for most of their bags. So this is a 2003, which is why I decided to opt for a vintage Chanel over a newer flap. With that said, because I know that this style is an excellent investment piece and we've seen time and time again that it has increased in price throughout the years, I decided to also get a medium double flap. But they're different, right? Different size and they're a different color. She is a 2002 vintage medium double flap, so she still has her 24 karat gold plated hardware. She's caviar leather as well. Shockingly enough, these don't compete with each other. This is my like daytime bag because I'm able to fit more inside of here. Camera, my phone, my agenda, my sunglass case, and the lipstick, a hand sanitizer. This one is my nighttime bag. So I'll typically use this to throw on my phone and my card holder. Don't let the size fool you. If you're trying to decide between the small or the medium, it really just depends on the lifestyle. Like if you're gonna use it mainly in the day, maybe opt for the medium. But if you wanna transition it a little bit easier at night, maybe opt for the small. Color is absolutely phenomenal, and I realized that it goes with basically any outfit that a black bag would. In no way is this vintage Chanel collection a normal amount because I'm surrounded by bags 24/7. I own a vintage designer small business. It's so hard and tempting. I only source bags that I know that I would use, so that's why it makes it so difficult to not keep every bag. That said, these are the bags that I just like could not could not let go of. It is one of my most used Chanel bags. Vintage Chanel belt bag. This is the bag I like to use when I'm like hosting parties at the house because I still want to have a bag. So I'll just loop it around my belt loop and then I still get to wear a bag when I'm like hanging out with my friends. She's made of 24 karat gold plated hardware. She's black lambskin leather. What's cool about this is they can detach from each other. I can use this without the bag. This baby, I'm gonna talk about this for a second. I've talked about this way too much on my Instagram. It's the amount of places I have brought this bag to. I brought it to New York, I brought it to the Philippines, brought it to Canada. Surprisingly, it has turned into a travel bag. Hear me out. So what I like to do is I like to wear it as a bracelet, and I'm not scared of it getting snagged. If you can't snag my bracelet, I'm able to fit my credit cards in here. So I'll typically take this out at nighttime, I'll throw my phone in my pocket or something. It's so surprising how often I use this bag. One of my favorite vintage Chanel's is another milestone bag. I talked about this a lot on my Instagram, but an ultra rare double turn lock vintage Chanel briefcase. Original address in Paris. Whenever I wear this, it feels like such a girl boss moment. Just such a perfect length where I can still throw over a blazer. Since we're on the same topic of double turn locks, this is my vertical double turn lock Chanel bag. It's my only Chanel bag in patent leather. The ASMR this bag brings. And anything that has a double turn lock, that is an immediate yes to me. None of my Chanel bags are colorful, and I'm just now realizing this. Everything is nude and black. That's very on brand. But maybe this year I will add a colorful Chanel into my collection. The next bag I'm gonna share is one that I talk quite a lot about on my channel. My vintage satin Chanel made of 24 karat gold plated hardware, as I believe most of these are because they are vintage. The ever so special bijou chain. Very rare when a Chanel is made with this little bijou chain here. The reason I am obsessed with this bag is because it reminds me of a mini Kelly. Trapezoidal shape, feet at the bottom, so she can sit upright. We use her like this, holding her as a little top handle. This is my most quirky vintage Chanel. I got this at the same time Barbie was released. I wanted to wear this to the Barbie premiere. It screams Barbie to me. Chanel jacket, she has a Chanel East to West chocolate bar, the camellia flowers, a little shoe, a hat, a bow. It's just such a fun bag. One of my dream bags is actually this exact print, but on a double flap. Someday, if I get that, then I'll sell this one. Because it's pretty thin, I just put my card holder, my keys, a lipstick. I also like the little CC zipper pull. I actually don't think I even ever shared this, and I'm actually thinking of letting it go. And I'll tell you why in a second, but it is a very rare Chanel bag. For sure a collector Chanel. Vintage Chanel Diana bag. What makes this bag so special is it's made of caviar leather. You rarely see a Diana made with caviar leather. It's so rare that the price between a lambskin Diana compared to a caviar Diana is just drastically different. It is almost like it's a completely different bag. The reason I am thinking about selling it, I'm like 90% sure I'm going to sell it. Whenever I decide to get rid of a bag, by the way, most of the time it's because it competes with another bag. Because I use this bag typically in the day, and this is a bag I would also use in the day, these are just butting heads. No, they're not the same color, but the shades and the type, you know, both caviar, like they're just too similar. It fits more because it's the size medium. So I typically grab this one more often. I don't know if I'm gonna regret it, and then like once it sells I'm gonna be like on the hunt for another caviar Diana, but I'm most likely going to sell this. This is my biggest Chanel bag that I have in the collection. Vintage Chanel tote bag. I actually use this as a work bag. It's on retirement right now because I use her so often, but what I love about this bag is, one, it's caviar leather, easy to take around, especially when I didn't have my office. I would work at coffee shops. The cool thing about this is it's technically two bags in one. I often did change different sides. Also has two pockets on each side, so I was easily able to throw in my phone or my receipt. I was able to also fit my laptop in here. By the way, if you hear snoring, that's why you're hearing snoring. They're sleeping right underneath where I'm filming. My 5-year-old Kingston. And then this is my 6-month-old Louie. Absolutely love napping together. The next piece is exciting. They go together, two bag scenario. My vintage Chanel Kelly set. What is this girl doing carrying 2 bags? It's so cool. Funny thing about this is I actually had to source this set entirely separate from each other. So the first one I got was this bag, the second one I got was this, and then I needed to find this crazy Chanel chubby lock. I will wear them separately as well. It's giving like east-west size. Love the structured handle. This one I brought with me to Canada, and then I actually looped this one on. So I put my lactates inside of this one, and then I wore this one as the main bag. This next vintage Chanel is one that's been in my collection for quite a long time. She's made of this beautiful like champagne finish, and then I love the bronze lambskin edges. This actually can fit my phone, which is so crazy. It can fit my phone without a case. I typically wear this one most often as a crossbody bag. I might potentially sell this bag this year. Not yet. I'm not ready to sell it yet, but maybe potentially this year. Oh my God, I love this bag so, so much. One of my only exotic pieces in my whole designer bag collection, a vintage Chanel, and she is made of lizard and 24 karat gold plated hardware. I typically bring this out during date night. In case you're curious to know what year she is, oh my gosh, what the heck? That's crazy. She is a 1 series. Oh my goodness, I did not expect this bag to be that old. That's over 30 years old, around 1989. She's in excellent condition for her age. It's so exciting. Wow. Whoever previously owned her, thank you for taking such good care of this bag. And that was my entire vintage Chanel collection. If you're interested in snagging your own vintage Chanel, feel free to follow me. I do drops every single Wednesday in my shop, shopfashionica.com. They drop at exactly 7 p.m. Pacific time. I will note that they tend to sell out fairly quickly. If you want to be part of the bag community, feel free to follow me at xofashionica. Let me know what other brand you want me to share for my own collection, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hugs and kisses.